When the government came up to say they wanted to remove fuel subsidy, I mean, so far so good. Even you have admitted that it seems that some people, it's not the common man who's in the oil business. It is the rich people up there. They're the ones importing the fuel, and the government is paying the difference too. Yeah. The question will be, how exactly do you agree that these people should keep getting the money that they have been getting? You think that so far so good, fuel subsidy has been applied as it should be? Because government's argument is that we put subsidy, I mean, I'm quoting the Minister for Petroleum here. She said that when we were given subsidy for kerosene, even though we were paying the subsidy, the common man still wasn't getting the money. That at some point, he was still paying, or she was still paying, or they were still paying 95 naira, in some places 100 and 120 naira, 150 naira for a litre of kerosene, something government has subsidized and says should be sold at 50 naira or 55 naira, I think, per litre. Yeah. So the question is, do you think this subsidy money should still be paid to those marketers who bring in the products?
There's no reason for that. It is unfair to even say that, because let's go back from PTF that was headed by Buhari. Let's go to the excess crude account during the Gulf down. Even right now, I can tell you that the going oil price worldwide is always at least 30% higher than the budget benchmark. What happens to the differential percentage? The excess crude account, the excess crude gain, what happens? So the point here is that when they mop up this money, the subsidy they're talking about, it doesn't actually do what it's supposed to do. It goes into private pockets.
Is there any area of convergence in this whole argument from your own group and government, or where can you two meet and agree on this particular subsidy?
The only agreement is for them to kill the idea of removing the subsidy.
Even though the money keeps going to some fat cats and it's still making some people richer, and
that was why I was saying some before I was caught. I talked about the alternatives, the 4 refineries. 2, the corruption in the oil sector. 3, the cost of governance that is so exorbitant, so outrageous. If they cut the cost of governance, they check the corruption in the oil industry, fix the refineries, if they are not good again, start to build new ones, we will have enough money to subsidize. What is the big deal in subsidizing oil? We are number 6 in the world. Of all the 10, let's say the top 10 oil producing nations in the world, Nigeria is the worst. Nigeria is the only oil producing nation you find her citizens going to wash dead bodies and place outside the country.
Is it that you don't trust the government to be able to take that one?
There's no reason to trust any Nigerian government for now. There's no reason to trust them because they have no feelings for the people. They're so insensitive.
But they've been explaining, once upon a time, you just get to see the removal and that's it. But now they've been explained, there's been some kind of series of talks, persuasions, and even people like Captain Hinacho, all of them, trying to let people understand why it is imperative that we take off the subsidy so that the nation doesn't collapse.
They are all beating about the bush. They know what they are doing. They have nothing to offer. All their explanations have no substance.
Okay. But you're not even listening to them.
We are listening. Why should we continue to listen when there's no substance in what they are saying? What we want to hear is policies. You see, Nigerians are tired of listening to rhetorics of government economics.
Are you content with the way the economy is? Sorry, Nyota. Are you content with how things are presently? No. Because if you're not content and the government comes and says, this money, 1.3 trillion naira, which we pay every year, we think it is unnecessary. And we believe that if competition is allowed into the sector, at some point it will stabilize. And at some point, this 1.3 trillion naira, we can actually invest it into other parts of the economy. Things we actually believe will make life easier? Because if that sector of the economy is deregulated, they will be employing more people will come into the business, the prices of oil at some point will stabilize, and then we can also have our money to do all the things that you want us to do. How difficult is that for people to understand? Why is it that people don't see the government side?
They know there's nothing to see. We know there's nothing to see. The money they made from, they removed the subsidy from diesel, petrol. What have they done with the money?
They removed the subsidy from diesel.
Diesel, yeah.
Who has suffered? There's been no hue and cry from the people who
Let them show us what
the real
they
price.
have done with the subsidy they removed. Let them tell us what they did, what they do with the excess crude gain.
Mr. Ehi,
almost on a yearly basis. Let them explain to us what they did with the money they gained from the PTF, right, from the PTF to date.
But they've also told
let them give us an account of it and how much is left in that fund.
They've also told you, they've explained to you that we removed the price of, you remove the subsidy from diesel, and the prices of things that usually use this diesel hasn't exactly gone up so astronomically that you can notice that something was wrong.
Because diesel is not as sensitive as PMS.
Because they've said major transporters, people who use big
this economy
buses,
is based on is a one product economy.
Coaches.
Petrol. The way petrol will affect everybody is not the same way diesel price will affect everybody.
It's very important that we understand this. They said mass transport uses diesel.
Yes.
The real mass transport uses diesel. Coaches, ones that come from the east and from up north, use diesel. Food transporters, people who bring foodstuffs from up north down to the south, use diesel. People who transport goods up north use diesel, and yet prices of things in these products haven't exactly changed astronomically. So why exactly is the argument that, you know, if we remove the subsidy here, things are going to shoot up? What exactly is going to make it shoot up?
Compare the percentage of people who use diesel, or groups, transporters who use diesel, to the percentage of people who use petrol. The small and medium scale industries,
they use petrol.
They use, even the man on the street, the tailor, the organizer, they use everybody, and most of the gain goes into buying petrol to fuel. No.
Before you go, if finally
everybody uses petrol.
Mr. Omokhale, if finally it's removed and we're looking at next year, what kind of new year do you think Nigerians will be in for?
Very bleak. And that's when you will see that the civil society have not been sleeping. If they dare it, they will be so shocked, because they won't understand where the zeal, the will, and the force will come from. Nigerians are not as timid as they used to. We have been doing a lot of sensitization. They will realize next year, if they do it, that Nigerians have gradually conquered the fear of death and the fear of intimidation. If they feel that what happened in Libya, Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire, Yemen cannot happen in Nigeria, they are deceiving themselves.
So you believe that the fat cat should keep getting
because
fat?
When you push somebody to the wall, he turns back and faces.
So what you're saying is that the fat cat should keep getting fat? You know, just leave your subsidy as it is. Is that what you're saying in essence?
No,
you don't care about, you know, the people who are actually getting the misapplication or the proceeds from a misapplication of the subsidy?
I can't say that. Oh, no sane human being will say that. We leave it as it is. No. We should deal with the problem. And we have proffered alternatives to them. They know the alternatives. Let them deal. The kind of gut they have, they had when they sent SSL to go and arrest Senator Ndume. They should double that kind of zeal to fish out members of this so-called cabal and cartel.
All right.
They are human beings, and they are their friends.